Peace to the house of Isolale. And Bote, welcome to another lesson, another Sambwadi, to Tata NZAMBI all the Kimbo. We thank him for his great kindness and tender mercies throughout the days of this week and causing us to be able to come before you and enjoy this chosen day of rest. Now, my color ain't right, so let me see. Just the light a little bit, kind of blurry on the left side. We thank the Most High for his great kindnesses. He's been so kind to us, even when we don't deserve it. This lesson is going to be probably the most important lesson, the power of fasting and prayer. The power of prayer and fasting. Whichever you want to, which one you want to put first, it really doesn't matter. Prayer and fasting, fasting and prayer, they go together. You can't really be successful without fasting and prayer, because a lot of people fast and just go about their day, but we have to learn to fast and pray. And I believe it was the Most High to reveal to me that there is certain times of the day that we should pray. According to in the book of Genesis, it doesn't give you exact time, but it gives you a time of day. So in the book of Genesis, it talks about when Adama walked in the garden in the cool of the day. In the cool of the day, and communed with the Most High. And the voice, it was like the presence of the Most High was walking with him, and he was verbally having a communication with the Most High, with him, and him with the Most High. So the cool of the day, if you notice, especially during the hot months of the year, about 3 o'clock, it start to get cool. The heat, the summer heat gets cool around 3 o'clock. So this is based on revelation knowledge, not. And I actually did a little more research and found out that there is in the Bible I have, the hard Bible, it has a graph of the time of prayer and the morning oblation being between 9 and 12, and the evening oblation between 3 and 6. So this goes right along with what the Most High revealed to me about. So when you go, I think in the book of Acts, where was it Peter and somebody else, I think it was, that went up into the temple at the hour of prayer. This is the evening oblation, right? So anyway, all right. So this is going to be a very important lesson, because I learned a long time ago that through evidence of scripture and my teaching growing up, what my father taught me, and other elders in the organization I grew up in, that how to fast successfully and to gain spiritual strength And you can't, so I'm going to show you, you can't subdue the flesh without fasting. Cannot subdue the flesh, where it says in Romans to mortify therefore the deeds of the body, right? And mortify, I believe it means to kill. I'll be looking it up. I'll look it up when we go through the lesson. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. I thought I had that already set up. Okay. That around. Okay, this is Exodus. Exodus 19th chapter. I'll show you what it is right there. Exodus 19th chapter, starting at the 10th verse. I'm trying not to wear my glasses. All right, I'm trying not to wear my glasses today. All right, let me take a sip of my Joe. Okay, let's get it. And Tata and NZAMBI said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes and be ready against the third day. For the third day, Tata and NZAMBI will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. 15. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves that ye be not up, go not up into the mount, nor touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. And Massa went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives. Okay. So right here, I think I'm gonna be skipping around just to show you, because I'm gonna have to wear my glasses because I got notes on my phone. See, I got all my scriptures on my phone. So this little writing, if I can blow it up, I can. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. So I'm going to be skipping around. That's what's coming to me to do. So, 1 Corinthians. Corinto. Okay. So here we go. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband likewise. Also the husband hath not power of his body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one another, except it be for consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. All right. So in Exodus, it says, come not at all, come not at your wives. So when you're fasting, you're not supposed to be engaging in sexual relations with your wife and husband. Wife and husband not supposed to be engaging. It is time of a consecration. It's a time of sanctification. So that's what Moses was telling them, to sanctify them, that to fast, to prepare yourselves to be in the presence of the Most High. The Most High is coming down. The King of all kings, Tata NZAMBI, KONGO, is coming down to speak to me in front of you. And so this is a major part of being set apart, right? It's a major part of being set apart. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go. So leave that there. All right. Let's see. Leviticus 16. What's this? Yeah, Leviticus 16, 29. Oh, it's 29 to 31. Okay. Okay. 29 to 31. Okay. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls and do not work at all, whether it be one of your own, country, or a stranger that of your own country, a stranger that sojourneth or a stranger that sojourneth among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before Tata NZAMBI. It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you. Ye shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. All right, let's go to Leviticus 23. This is Leviticus 23 and 27. Also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Tata NZAMBI. Okay, so Leviticus 16, 29 to 31, and Leviticus 23 and 27, right? These were this was the annual day of fasting. And all of Isolele, wherever part of the continent you lived in, or the region of Congo, came together, or they knew, not necessarily came together, but they came together, because after this was, before this one was the Feast of Trumpets, which is always going to be on a new moon, right? And this followed the Feast of Trumpets. Now, the thing about it is, okay, I forgot to read the 28. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before Tata NZAMBI your NFUMU. Okay. So because of the time distortion and the corruption of time by man in the world, and it's been so many hundreds of years approximately that all these changes have taken place in calendars and all these things, and we being separated from our culture, being in the land of our captivities, wherever we may be, whether on continent, whether in diaspora, we are removed from our culture. And so it doesn't eliminate the fact that we need to fast, right? So I personally have my house, my wife, and myself, and my nephew fast on a Wednesday. And this is a weekly thing. Now, the thing about fasting is that if you're not used to it, it's hard, and you got to kind of graduate yourself into it. So I'm kind of used to it a little bit. I've done 3-day fast, but a lot of things how I was taught, like I've been on 3 days straight through with no food, water at all, and as a young person, but now if we have to be careful, because I know somebody personally that had died because they was fasting, but not according to the Most High's will, right? So just because you get the unction, you have a zeal, like it says in Romans, they have a zeal, but not according to knowledge, right? And I'm gonna show you only as far as we know, only a few people in our history that has fasted like a complete month or 40 days, right? And so we're going to get into that. So because we don't keep the feast days in the land of our captivity, the Samwadi, the Sabbath, is a weekly feast, and it covers the annual feast because we keeping it weekly throughout the year, okay? And it is attached, or the annuals are attached to the annuals is attached to the 7th day feast day, okay? All right. So this was a command to fast. So this is the thing. That's another thing was when there's different places in scripture where it talks about, it uses terminology like afflict your soul, consecrate, different terminologies that if you don't know, you don't know if you don't know the language, right, or the connection, like afflict your souls, if not everybody knows that means fasting, right? Because I'm familiar with it, I know that means fasting. So your soul, because we are born in sin, shaped in iniquity, your soul got to go somewhere. And if you're constantly feeding the flesh, then your soul is going to be corrupted. But if you feed the spirit, your soul will be sanctified, set apart. Okay. Hope everybody understands. Okay, moving on. All right, this is Leviticus 24:18. And Moses went, so this is when Moses had received the law. Let's see. I think it was on, I think twice, where he was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Okay. And I'm gonna show you. Well, I'll just go. Let's go. I'll show you. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and gat him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. All right. This is the Exodus 34, 28, 28, 28 to 34. All right, so show you. Okay. Exodus 34. All right. 28 to 34. Okay. And it was there with Tata and NZAMBI 40 days. Oh, and he was there 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments. And it came to pass when Massa came down from Mount Sinai. Now I'm inclined to believe what Brother Trey said, because this mountain is not in the continent, right? I don't know the name of the actual mount, but it could be Zion. I don't know where it's in Mount, what is known popularly known as Mount Kenya. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Mount was on the mount with 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand when he came down from the mount, that Massa was not that his skin of his face shone while he talked with him. So while he was communing, because he was communing with the Most High, basically face to face, he didn't actually see the Most High's face, but being in the presence of the Most High, it caused his face to shine. So he was basically, he was glowing from being in the presence of Tata and NZAMBI. That's what that's saying. His skin, he didn't know that his face was shone. That's what shone means, while he talked with him. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Massa, behold, his skin of his face was shined. And they were afraid to come nigh him. And Massa called unto them, and Aaron, and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Massa talked with him. And talked with them. Okay. And afterward, all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all that Tata and NZAMBI had spoken unto him in the mount. And Massa had done speaking with them, he put a veil on. So when he was done, basically saying when he was done, Massa, when he was done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But when Moses went in before the Tata NZAMBI to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spake unto the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw the face of Massa, that the skin of Massa's face shined, and Massa put a veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with Tata NZAMBI. That's what him talking about. Okay, so this is showing you Massa was one of those ones that had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, being in the presence of the Most High, receiving the word of the Most High, the law of the Most High. Okay, just want to show you that. So not everybody, this is what I want us to be very careful of. It is necessary to fast and pray together, but Satan will cause, be careful to know the spirit that's speaking to you about fasting, because a lot of people have zeal not according to knowledge, and Satan will use that against them to think that they should be fasting 30 days, 40 days, like Moses and others. And these were particular people that had a high role in Isolele. They had a very high calling in Isolele. And not everybody is called to fast to this extent, right? But everybody is called to fast to some degree or another. All right. All right. Deuteronomy 9. This is Deuteronomy 9:9. See that? Okay. Deuteronomy 9:9. When I was gone up into the mount to receive the tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant. So you see, the 10 commandments, the law of the Most High, is the covenant, the agreement. So all these other religions, saying all this stuff about covenant, you got to be in covenant with the Most High. Yeah, you ain't in covenant with the Most High if you ain't keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. It's just simple as that. And there's a certain demeanor that comes along with keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. If you always talking to people mean and harsh when you trying to deliver the word of the Most High, that's a problem. Because the number one thing that comes along with the spirit of the Most High and the covenant of the Most High is love. And I know we all have our human frailties, our human conditions, but as we keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, our old nature should change gradually and consistently, always changing to a different demeanor. a different spirit, because keeping the law will drive all those foul spirits from you eventually. But you have to do this, keeping the law, with fasting and praying. All these things go hand in hand, right? To get back to the people that we once was, to get back to who we once was in the garden before the fall, before the transgression. Okay. Let's see. Even the tables of covenant, which Tata and NZAMBI made with you. Then I abode in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. 40 days, 40 nights. And Tata and NZAMBI delivered unto me 2 tables of stone written with the finger of Yah. And on them was written according to all the words which he spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. So when they came out of Egypt, now I want us to understand the relationship between leaving Egypt and going towards the Most High to enter into his presence to receive his law, his word, the covenant, right? Egypt has a multitude, not a multitude, but he has several different connections or spiritual relations. So Egypt is physical bondage, spiritual bondage. And when you have spiritual bondage, you have sin. Sin is bondage. Sin is the transgression of Tata and NZAMBI's law. Sin is the transgression of KONGO's law. So when we left Egypt, we're leaving sin, right? And I remember some places it calls it a sinful nation. I believe. I can't remember. I know it was a song that they used to sing. But anyway, so leaving Egypt, Babylon and Egypt in scripture is synonymous in their spiritual relationship. They're synonymous with sin and everything wicked, everything abominable, right? Okay, so Babylon and Egypt, sin, abominations, transgressions, whatever you want to, the whole ball of wax. Okay, that's why in Revelations it says Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, right? Okay, moving on. First Kings 19. 1 Kings 19, 1 through 18. Now, bear with me. So this is going to be a long lesson. So I ask you to be patient, and because this is definitely needful. All right. And Ahab told Jezebel, now this name right here, please don't name your children Isabel, because it's synonymous. If you name I know I grew up with several people that had Isabel. So let me show you let me put it right here. This is First Kings 19. Let me change it. But didn't I tell you?
Strong's H.
I hope you can hear this.
Isabel.
Isabel. You don't. They backwards all get out. They're gonna try to pronounce a B with a V. It's Isabel. So, Isabel. See, you see what I'm talking about? This is why we have to be careful with different names. Don't let nobody tell you names are not important, words are not important. They are extremely important because you're going to mess around and invoke a demon if you're not careful. And the English language is loaded with those types of traps. Loaded. All right. Anyway, let's go back. Since I got it here. All that Elijah had done with all how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then this wicked woman sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that he arose and went for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, Yehudah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it is enough now, O Tata NZAMBI, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel of Tata, in Malaki, touched him and said unto him, arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water, and at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the angel Tata NZAMBI came again, and the Malaki of Tata NZAMBI, BanaKongo, came again the second time and touched him and said, arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. And he arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights, and to Horeb, the mount of Yah. So this is kind of problematic for me, but they're trying to say that Horeb and Sinai is synonymous. Geographically, I know it can't be. All right. Anyway, moving on, we'll get that because I don't. That's not out of my purview. And he came thither into a cave and lodged. Let's see. And lodged there. And behold, the word of Tata NZAMBI came to him, and he said unto him, what doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for Tata NZAMBI NFUMU of hosts, for the children of Isolale have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword.
and I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And he said, go forth and stand upon the mount before Tata and NZAMBI. And behold, Tata and NZAMBI passed by, and a great strong wind rent the mountains and break it in pieces, and the rocks before Tata and NZAMBI, and break in pieces the rocks before Tata and NZAMBI. But Tata and NZAMBI was not in the wind. See, this is what I'm trying to teach my daughter at this time, and I gotta mark this, that there's so much needful time that we need to spend being quiet, meditating on the word of the Most High, right? Not just meditating, but meditating on the word, right? We just don't openly meditate on nothing. You have to fill your mind with something, and it has to be the word of the Most High. But you have to, there's needful times to be quiet. Why? Because you'll see, Tata and NZAMBI was not in the wind, and after the wind, an earthquake, but Tata and NZAMBI was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but Tata and NZAMBI was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. And it was so when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle. I think a mantle is like a cape or something like that. Let me see what it is real quick. Some type of garment, a cloak. Okay, anyway. So take note of this, still small voice. And it was so when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, what doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous of Tata and NZAMBI, my NFUMU of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I, only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And Tata and NZAMBI said unto him, go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. And Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. And Elisha, I don't know, Elisha, the son of son of Shaphat of Abel Meholia. These words be getting me. Shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room, or in thy stead. And it came to pass that him that escaped the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escaped from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him. Okay, so when he was left the presence of Isabel, when he left the presence of Isabel, he went to seek the Most High. And the Maleki of the Most High came to him and told him to eat. And he ate. Then he went back to sleep. He came back, told him to eat, because the journey was too hard. And so right here it is. He rose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights. So he was going into the presence of the Most High, just like Moses, right? To this, basically the same place. Why they changed the names, I do not know, but people are crafty, and I'm sure there's an agenda behind it. Anyway, so you see the consistency of these leaders, prophets of the Most High, fasting 40 days before they go into the presence of the Most High, or while they're in the presence of the Most High. And one time I went out into the wilderness as much as I actually could find, was there 3 days. And I did a 3-day sacrifice where at the end of the day I ate. And so happened that I was able to catch fish to sustain myself after the evening oblation. So it was a very very unique experience, something I never done before. Hopefully I have an opportunity to do it again. There's a connection between being out in the wilderness, out in the wide open spaces, no internet, and just being in the creation of the Most High and communing with the Most High is an experience everybody should have to some degree. All right. So I just want to show you that. All right. Matthew 4, 1 and 2. And when then was Isaiah led up of the Spirit into the wilderness, to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungry. Okay. So now the Messiah does 40 days and 40 nights, right? And this is when Satan is coming to tempt him. So how it reads, I'm sure it's very deceptive. So I'm positive that this account did not take place after the fast. It took place during the fast, because you ask anybody that has some experience in fasting, Satan comes to you when you're fasting. Because if you able to complete your fast, Satan knows he ain't gonna have no power over you. He ain't gonna have no influence. Because just like Moses, Elijah, doing fasting like that, you go to a different level. And And Satan knows these things. So he has to block you when you're like at the weakest point of your fast. And like some of us, it's just like the first couple of hours. But as you go on, your spirit man regenerates and empowers you. It's a complete and total mind. Your mind is strong to the fact that even though you have those hunger pains, the strength of your mind, the spirit of your mind, right, that's your spirit man, your inner man, that is being charged to tell you, don't pay no attention, or whatever's going through your mind. You are praying, studying the word, or what, and it gives you strength to go through, and eventually those hunger pains just go away, right? Eventually the hunger pains just go away. So you see Moses, Elijah, and the Messiah, 40 days, 40 nights, right? So those are three particular people, and all of them, I'm pretty sure that I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Enoch, but it's not written in the KJV. But I'm sure he had his turn of fasting, because like Elijah, he was translated. So there is definitely a connection between these long strenuous fasts and going to a level of perfection, basically, to enter into the presence of the Most High, that Moses, Elijah, Enoch, and the Messiah all did. So this is a fast, this is a specific fast that they had to do, and not everybody is called to do these types of fasts. All right. But everybody should fast. So this is Matthew 17:14-21. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, NFUMU, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed, for oftentimes he falleth into the fire, and ofttimes into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. And Isaiah answered and said, O fatherless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Isaiah rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Isaiah apart and said, why could not we cast him out? And Isaiah said unto them, because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. So I'm sure other people have their commentaries on this particular scripture. Trust me on this. this is what we was removed from. The ability that we had when we was in the land, the abilities that we possessed when we was as a nation, right? Be able to just speak, and it was done. Now, what you have here, he said, "O faithless and perverse generation," right? Because of your unbelief. If you don't think fasting is doing you any good, it's not. If you're just going through the motions, it's not benefiting you. You have to believe what you're doing is going to be effective. Your mind has to change in order for your fasting and praying to be successful. In order for your prayers to be much more successful, or successful at all, you have to fast. Because what is fasting? Fasting is, many people want to say, oh, you can fast, do without this, do without that. Fasting is a very specific thing, as you see in scripture, is going without food and water for a period of time. That's why they call breakfast, breakfast. Look how it's spelled. You're breaking a fast, because nobody eats while they sleep. Nobody eats while they sleep. So breaking a fast is the morning meal, what they call breakfast. Okay. So your natural food fuels your natural body. Your natural food fuels your natural body. But we don't want our natural body to be fueled all the time by natural food. We want our spiritual man to be increased and to be fueled. And in order to fuel the spirit man to be empowered to do this, to remove those spirits, to conquer the spirits, you have to pray and fast. Because you're weakening your natural man and strengthening your spiritual man when you fast and pray. When you fast and pray. So faith, belief, and gotta know the word. All these things work in combination together. You can't leave. It's like a puzzle piece that you leave one out, it's an incomplete puzzle, and it's going to look crazy. It's not going to work properly, right? It's not going to work properly. All right. Matthew 17. This is Matthew 17. Oh, okay. Now, these are connecting scriptures. The next 1, 2, 3. The next 3 scriptures are connected to this right here, right? All right. Romans 8, 1 through 14. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Kuswa, Isaiah, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. For the law of the spirit of life in Kuswa hath made me free from the law of sin and death. So people people that do not keep the law do not know how to understand the writings of Paul. They do not understand the writings of Paul because Paul was a law keeper. And one of the things that he's pointing out that in life itself, there are different laws to apply in life, right? Reaping and sowing, sowing and reaping, planting and reaping. Plant a seed, you reap the fruit. That's a law. So there's different law applications in life, and we can't cross them up. Okay. Has made me free from the law of sin and death. The law of sin and death, you sin, you're gonna die. That's it. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. So here you're gonna see at the beginning, it's going to seem like he's contradicting this right here. And he's going to come back down here, further down, and say something that's going to contradict this. But it's not contradicting this. This law is not the entirety of the law. It's talking about a specific law. It's talking about the law of sacrifice, the sacrificial law, right? That's what this law is talking about. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Tata NZAMBI sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin in the flesh, for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of, there you see, right there, for the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. So you see a instant contradiction, but it's not a contradiction. This is how you understand how to rightly divide the word of truth. You can't have a weak law that's weak through the flesh and then have righteousness of the law, right? And walking in the spirit in the same context. This is talking about, verse 3 is talking about the sacrificial law. And many times in other places of his writings, he's talking about sacrificial law, not the moral and spiritual law. Because the Most High really didn't have pleasure in the sacrifices, but it was this is what they meant, shadows and types. That every sacrifice had to be a specific, clean animal and a perfect one with no blemishes. You could not just offer up to the Most High any old type of thing. That's what the Greeks did, where it says in Daniel, the abomination of desolation, when the Greeks went into the temple and sacrificed a swine during the days of Maccabee. Okay, continue on. Verse 5. Let me go back to 4. For that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. So, if you are walking in the flesh, then you don't understand the righteousness of the law. You understand the weakness of the law, and that's why all these preachers and all these are blind to this simple fact, and they're deceivers for the most part. For the most part, they're deceivers. They know and they don't teach. Okay. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity. That means enemy. Enemy against Yah. For it is not subject to the law of Yah, neither indeed can be. So there you go. The carnal mind, the flesh, cannot obey the law of Yah. This is why we need to pray and fast, that our spirit man may reign preeminent in us, to enable us to keep the law of Yah. And you'll never be able to keep the law of the Most High carnally. So this is how it goes. Experience. I knew people that kept the Sabbath day, I mean, jam up. They kept the Sabbath day jam up, but had the nastiest attitude ever. Had the nastiest attitude ever. They're keeping it carnally. You could keep the Sabbath day exactly like you're supposed to, but if you're keeping it carnally, if the love of the Most High is not involved in any of your efforts, then it's a done deal. It's a done deal. There's no hope in keeping things that the Most High said to do carnally. Because doing things according to your flesh, it contradicts everything that is the Most High. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yah. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if so be that the Spirit of Yah dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Yah, the Messiah, he is none of his. So you have the Spirit of Yah, the Spirit of the Messiah. These supposed to be one. That should say the Spirit of Yah, like that says. Okay, I'm not getting into that. But everybody saying that they have the Spirit of Yah, they're lying. Because you cannot have the Spirit of Yah and not keep his law. Can't do it. And if your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is not increasing, if the love of Yah is not increasing, if your nature is not changing, then what you're doing is in vain. It's not benefiting you anything. You got to go back and check with the Most High what you doing. And too many of us are so heady and high-minded that can nobody tell us nothing. I know what I'm talking about. This is one of the things that goes along with this, where it says the flesh cannot please Yah. It's not subject to the law of Yah, neither indeed can be. When judging somebody, judging the messenger of the Most High, before they even say a word, you already have in your mind, just because of who that individual is, that you do not want to receive anything they say. Experience. It's life experience. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of Yah dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Yah, he is none of his. And if the Messiah be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. So righteousness, the simplicity of what righteousness is doing that which the Most High said to do, doing that which is right according to what he said. That's his law, the righteousness of the law. Okay. But if the spirit of him that raised up Isaiah from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Isaiah from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by the spirit that dwelleth in you. Quicken means awakened. Quicken means awakened. Okay. All right. Let's see. Sorry. 14. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the spirit do mortify the deeds of the body. Let's go. Romans. Mortify. Kill. Become dead. Mortify. To put to death. To make to die. Destroy. Render extinct. By death to be liberated from the bond of anything, literally to be made dead in relation to something, in this relationship to your physical body. Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay. Where was I? All right. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. Now we're going to go into what the deeds of the body are. For as many as are led by the Spirit of Yah, they are the sons of Yah. So when we are obedient to the Most High, we are the sons of Yah. We become like the Messiah. We become like Masa. We become like Elijah. We become like Noka or Enoch. That's Noka is Noah. Him too. So we become as our forefathers were, our righteous forefathers, right? Okay. Right. Still connecting. Colossians. Connecting. So that was, we started with Romans, how they were they could not cast them out, the demon, right? And this is why Romans, why they could not cast them out. It was operating through the flesh. Simple terms. Okay, Colossians. Colossians 3 and 5. Colossians 3 and 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affections, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things sake the wrath of Yah cometh on the children of disobedience. So let's look again. No. Go back. Okay. Let's go over here. This one. Okay. Mortify therefore your members which are on the earth. Okay. Let's look these up. You know what mortify means, right? Okay. On the earth, fornication. We know what fornication, well, some of us do. Illicit sexual intercourse, adultery, fornication. So can't define a word with a word. Homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, etc. But what they left out of here, oh, here it goes right here. The worship of idols. Okay, see that? The worship of idols. This is actually the main definition of fornication, right? This is the main this this is the main definition of fornication. And I won't get into this right here because that's not a straight line. It's not, it's this one has
situations and circumstances attached to it, where it's not just one-to-one correlation. All right, if you understand what I mean. Okay. That's that one. Galatians. Okay. Here where you get into the nitty-gritty of the the nature of your flesh. The nature of your flesh. Right? This is Galatians, the 5th chapter, starting at 16 verse. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. If you be led of the spirit, you are not under law. So you go back to Romans, right? If you don't understand what this means, under the law, you don't understand what being led of the spirit is. Because in Romans, it says, where's it at? See, righteousness of the law, right? Oh yeah. To be carnally minded is enmity against Yah, for it is not subject to the law of Yah, neither indeed can be, right? So does that sound like under the law? No, because what this is saying is that when we walk in the spirit, be led of the spirit, we are obeying the law. But if you walk carnal minded or fleshly minded, you are subject to be persecuted or convicted of transgressing the law. Therefore, whatever the punishment of the Most High's law is, you are now under subjugation to that law. You're subject to that law for conviction. You're convicted of transgressing the law. Now you're under the law. So when you walk in the flesh, the lust of the flesh, ye are under the law. That's exactly what that means. Now, the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, in which I tell you before, as I have told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah. But here we go. I can't leave this out. But the fruit of the Spirit is love. Didn't I tell you back in Romans? Love is the fulfilling of the law. We cannot obey the law of Yah without love. For we have to have love towards him first. And when we have love towards him first, we'll learn how to love each other. This is I think the principles of Rastafari. Principles of Rastafari. All right. So, hear ye, O Isolele. Tata and NZAMBI is one. Thou shalt love him with all thy heart, mind, soul, and strength. And Isaiah said, the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two hang all the law and the prophets. Love is the linchpin. It is what everything hangs on. On these two, love, the love of Tata and NZAMBI, and love for your people. It is the linchpin. It is the nail in which the law and the prophets hang. All right. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So all these are pertaining to the law of sin and death. But there's no law against any of this. So you have these preachers really deceiving people and just constantly hypocrisy and contradicting themselves at every turn. Talking about love, but then in the same breath talking against the law of the Most High. Makes no sense whatsoever. All right. All right. Mark. I'm getting the last two. Mark 9:17-29. And one of them of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought thee unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth and gnasheth his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake unto thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. He answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring unto me. And they brought him unto him, and when he saw him, straightway the spirit tear him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. You can imagine that, right? And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child. So this instance right here is the same instance that it was talked about in Matthew, but only this is Mark. So let me go down. And when Isaiah saw the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him and enter no more into him. So as you go down, and he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. Okay, it's just a witness to what was read in Matthew. Same thing in Luke, I think. 36-28. I don't know what this is. And there was one, oh yeah, this is different. Okay. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Penuel, of the tribe of Asher. She was of a great age and had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity. And she was a widow of about 84 years. So she's well in her 80s, maybe in the 90s, right? She had a husband. The husband died. They was married, what is it, 7 years? Yeah, 7 years. So she was married 7 years. Something happened to the husband. She died, or the husband died, and she was a widow for 80 plus years, which departed not from the temple, but served Yah with fasting and prayers night and day, right? And she coming in that instant gave thanks likewise unto Tata and NZAMBI, and spake of him to all them that looked for the redemption of Salama. So she was a prophetess, Anna. Okay. Oh, all right. We thank Tata and NZAMBI for this lesson. So this is just a correction in my thought or my understanding. So when I read that instance about the prophetess Anna, that at one time I used to think that the Most High only used men as prophets, if you understand where I'm going. But in my growth in the knowledge and the Bantu spirituality, the Most High used men and women in a lot of cases in the same instance, or in the same function. Prophetess. So anyway, what I'm getting at is anybody could be used according to the will of the Most High. And don't fix your mind to, oh, I'm just a woman, I'm just whatever. If the Most High wants to use you, don't hinder it, because your soul is at stake. And other people that he may want you to reach that only you can reach, their blood could be on your hands. So don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in a box, because when you put yourself in a box, you're putting the Most High in a box. You're limiting the power of the Most High to work in your life. So these things, all these things that I showed you, all these scriptures, is to show you that the level of spirituality cannot be reached unless you fast, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All these things are working together to bring us to the next level of our spirituality in Tata and NZAMBI, the Most High, ya KONGO, and Pungo de Lindo. All right. Be blessed. Be laka. Be upon you. Sorry, I'm looking for. Bisakamunu. Bisakamunu upon you. May the Lukumu, and Kimball be to the Most High. Praise and Kimball, Lukumu. I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna learn it. May Tata and NZAMBI bless thee and keep thee. May Tata and NZAMBI's face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Tata and NZAMBI lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Ngamba, Salama. Salama. Salama, Sambwadi. To Tata and NZAMBI be the glory.